think we might be live. This is my first time trying to be live this way. I don't have no light. Let's fix that. Let's get some light there. Let's get some light from here. Should give me light. All right, we got a little light now. And can I get some more light? All right, I think that's as much light as I'm gonna be able to get here. But we are back. This is a whole new setup for me because my Mac would not work. Or my setup on my Mac Pro is not working. So can you guys hear me? Number one, I should check that. I don't even know where my headphones are connected to. Not over here. Okay, there we go. All right, now I can see your, I hit the cam, but it's the only way y'all gonna see me today because my webcam has decided not to work for me. Why? Sound is fine. How's this going? Yes, sir. Okay, cool. Then we'll just deal with it. We'll just deal with it. Let me get some light coming from here. And that should be better. Okay, now you guys can see me. What's going on? It's Friday. It is Friday. It's been an interesting week this week. Work from home all week. What's going on, Kelvin? Back in the building. Y'all chat is over here, so that's why I'm looking, not on this screen, but on this screen. So that's why I'm not looking at the camera. How's things at the new startup and what React? What's going on, fam? Working like a Jamaican. You're working like a Jamaican bumper lad over there, huh? Oh, I gotta set a timer. Alexa, set a 25-minute timer.
25 minutes, starting now.
All right. I promised the old lady I gotta take her somewhere tonight, so I'm not going over. This is gonna be a short and sweet live. Y'all heard me set the timer. So to get you caught up, answer some of Dr. J's questions. The new startup is going good. It has been a little bit different or awkward, only because I haven't had official assigned work for the last week. So I've been working from home, doing my own. What I've been doing actually with the project, and I kind of just took it on myself to do because I didn't have assigned work, is to write tests. So I've been writing test coverage for this React application. And I've got well over 100 tests, well over 150 tests, I think, written from zero. So we had no tests in the application. I've written over 150 tests easy. By the time I'm done, I'll be somewhere 200-300 tests probably for the application. So that's what I've been doing all week, sitting right here in this chair, just writing tests for this React app. Next week, however, there is sorry. This thing started playing over here. I'm like, who's talking in my room? Y'all see that? I thought my son is looking here or something. Next week, though, I'm actually going to be back doing some Angular stuff. Hey. So I got contacted from my buddy that runs the company, or one of the owners of the company, that they secured a contract with LVAC, which is it's Las Vegas Athletics Club. It's a big they have big, massive gyms here in town, like those 2-story, running track on the second level type thing, a whole bunch of classes. I think LVAC, I know it's one of them. I think LVAC is the one that they used to kind of really cater to ladies. So it was a place that ladies could go. I think they may still do that. I need to do my research before next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is when I meet with them as a client to go over, to get onboarded and stuff. But I think they have like ladies only classes and all that stuff. So if you're a lady who doesn't like going to the gym because you got all these dudes looking at your butt all day, hey, so a lot of girls go because of that. But there's plenty who don't want to go and be, gawked over while they're trying to get in shape. LVAC used to cater to that type of clientele where they would have ladies only classes, ladies only times for working out and stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty cool to encourage ladies to be able to go to the gym and not have to worry about no men being there trying to hit on them or anything like that. So anyway, they're going to be a client. They got a booking application to book classes that they want to build out. So you'll be able to do reservations for classes and stuff like that. So I will be working on that starting next week. Also got a email from my now ex-coworker at the job I just left to come do the freelance or independent contractor thing, to see if I could come back and help write tests and fix bugs on the application I was working on at my old job. And I said, of course, sure. So that will be, that should be light work, stuff that I can do in the evenings when I'm done with the main gig, and in the evenings and on the weekends, So they're between, I think, the 11th and 22nd, they were expecting like 20 hours or something like that. So it's all good. I can do 4 hours in the evening every evening for 5 days, or I can just bust it out on the weekend and do 8 hours. 8 hours is 16, and then do 4 hours sometime during the week. It's 20 hours of billable work. They said, hey, let's get your rate nailed down. Now, keep in mind, here we go about the money, right? So keep in mind, I was working for them for 93. Remember, I had the one main job that was paying 125. By the time I did my year increase, it was like 128. And then I picked up the second job for 93. At 93, if you go and punch in, there's a great site that'll tell you how much per hour a particular salary is, or how much a salary is for your hourly rate. And if you type in, I can't share my screen and show you guys on this setup. I'm doing this on my MacBook because my webcam is acting up on my Mac Pro. This screen right here is where I usually do it, and this little webcam right here is where you guys usually see me, but it's acting up. The light is on, but there is no, it's not showing anything on my screen. So I came over to here, which I don't have OBS set up on, or none of that stuff to create that I usually do my custom thumbnails with and all of that. It's not on here. I just went to YouTube's website and hit go live. And so this is that setup. Can't share my screen. All I can do is just talk to the camera type thing. So I can't share. But if you type that in, I think 90 hours an hour, I think, for a 2,000 hour a year. So I had just left there less than 2 weeks ago, making $46 an hour. We'll just take the high one. They asked me what my rate was. I told them, well, I'm currently contracted out at $80 an hour. So as close as you can get to that, I'm cool with it. Yeah. I said that, and then I told my lady that, and she said, I thought she was gonna be like, yeah, you should tell him, this is what you make now. And but she said, um, what did she say? She said, ooh, like you told him that. And she was like, you're the one that told him, you wanted to come back and do work for them. And now I kind of feel like that's like hitting them over the head. Like you offer to come back for work, and now you want to get paid, close to double of what we were just paying you 2 weeks ago to do the same work. And so I thought about it. I was like, I didn't think about it like that. So I was beating myself up over the head, like, dang, maybe I shouldn't have said it. But then I'm like, I was like, well, I don't need the work. I don't need that money. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, I can still rock with that. If they say no, I can still rock with that, right? Um, it wouldn't affect me one way or the other. It wasn't like I was going for my only job and I'm like, oh, please hire me. I already got a job that pays me, pays me, or have work that pays me very well. What I do, and it's nice and comfortable, and I do it in the comfort of my own home office. So I'm happy. Um, but I was kind of beating myself up because she made me think about it the other way. Like, oh man, was that wrong to like beat them over the head for double what they were paying me not even 2 weeks ago? So then I was nervous to even like open my email to see what their response would be. But I opened my email and the response said, well, I'm keeping my eye on the budget for this project. If we can do 75 an hour, um, we can work with that. And I replied back. I said, yeah, sure, I can make that work. Let's do it. And that was the end of the conversation. She wrote back, sweet. And she CC'd the head of the project and said, her name, let me know if you need anything else. And that was it. So they didn't take my 80 an hour, but they took 75. So, so that'll be good. 2 weeks, 20 hours, 40 hours times whatever that is, 75 an hour. I don't have my math out and I don't feel like calculating that in my head, but it'll be a nice little extra chunk of change for 40 hours worth of work. So, and who knows, that may parlay into more and more stuff down the line, but we'll see. I can tell you this, I have definitely been more stress free. This is the most stress free I've been in a long time, a very long time. Because working those two jobs, I didn't realize it until I had stopped doing that. But working those two jobs was like uber stressful, man. That was uber stressful. And I wouldn't recommend that. I did it for a purpose. I wanted to save up a very substantial amount of income, finances in a short amount of time as possible. So I traded my time for money, which is one of the worst ways to maximize or multiply your income because there's only so much time in a day. So you're really sacrificing huge parts of your life to be able to make this happen. And I rode it to the ragged edge to where, my performance was starting to drop off at one of the gigs. And I'm like, let me pull the ejection handle before they pull the ejection handle on me, just because I was so burnt out, so burnt out. When you write code for 12 to 14, sometimes 16 hours a day, and you do that for the better part of a year, you will burn out, guaranteed. So I've been so stress free. I only got one job. I'm working on one project, and I'm done at the end of the day. When it says 5 o'clock, I'm like done. I ain't working till 9 or 10 at night, So I'm happy. I'm happy with that a lot. All right, let me catch some of y'all. Get some of y'all questions up. Let's see. All right. Big Joe said, give us the rundown. What's work for the week then? Yep. So we covered that. Work for the week has been all testing, writing tests. React, the React community uses Jest, Jest, like a court gesture. Ooh, struggle with that word. But that is the testing framework that I've been using instead of in Angular. You're still going to find Karma, Jasmine, and Karma for the testing setup. That's what comes stock with the Angular CLI. But with React, the community has leaned towards Jest over Karma. So I've been really going, I took a Pluralsight course, a couple Pluralsight courses on testing with Jest, watching a ton of YouTube videos on different things as I come up about, okay, how do I mock local storage? How do I mock, it was usually around mocking something. What's the way, like I know how to do it in Jasmine, but how do I do it in Jest? Because Jest has its own API for working with it and just learning how to write tests in Jest has been what this week has been all about. Been doing a lot of all of the services and API calls and things of that nature so far. When testing React components is an interesting one. There's a lot to that. Well, it can be a lot or not a lot. And there's different philosophies on testing that too. Alexa, how long is left on the timer?
You have 11 minutes left on your 25-minute timer.
11 minutes left. Okay. I won't get sidetracked here. Me too. I got a gig at a Fortune 500 company. Congratulations. Hey, so you still getting paid though, right? Yeah, still getting paid, man. Still getting paid. So I submit my hours in. I hadn't got my first check from the new place, but I'll submit my hours today and see. To be honest, I don't know if I got paid from the new place because I haven't even checked my bank account. Like a week and a half or something. I don't know. So I set up a whole new LLC, right, for my own consulting company. My consulting company contracts with my buddy's consulting company, and then they go get clients. So it's kind of that's the tier thing. Their company get the clients. I'm contracted on to my company's contracted on to them. I turn in my hours for them per client. They bill the client. They take whatever off the top and give me my $80 an hour rate. And that's the relationship. But I had to form a whole new LLC, open a brand new bank account. I haven't checked it since I opened it. So there could be money in there or there could not. I don't know what the pay date and pay schedule and all that stuff is for the new company. I really didn't ask because I know I'm going to get paid. And I'm not in a situation where I'm hurting for money, which is good. I remember those days, man, where it was like, I started a new job. I needed to know when is payday. I needed to know that on day one. When is payday and how many weeks do y'all hold my check? Because I got bills that's behind already while I was trying to get this job. And I need to know when am I going to have some funds to pay these bills before they turn my light off. Now, that is not the case for me. I got plenty of money in the bank. So if they take 2 weeks, 3 weeks to pay me, hey, we cool as long as I get paid eventually. When I worked at the place in Denver, they only paid on a monthly basis. So, and we really didn't miss a step there. We got paid once a month and we budgeted that out perfectly, I give my lady credit on this. She is actually really good with the budget. So I make the money and then every 2 weeks, she just gives me a number. She texts me a number and that is the budget for all the bills for the house. And that includes school tuition for the kids. That includes, whatever else, any major purchase we need to make on that during that 2 weeks or whatever. She puts all that money to the side I do one deposit into a joint checking, and then she pays all the bills for the house. So it's really a teamwork thing, and I like it like that because we have friends that kind of the man does everything in the house. Like he makes the money, he pays all the bills, he takes good, and so the wife really is kind of out of the loop on all that stuff. And I'm I'm just personally not a fan of that. Like I want it to feel like this is a partnership. So if anything ever happens to me, she ain't scrambling trying to see what the bills are, number one. Um, and then how do I pay all these bills? Like she's got all the login info. And she does all that stuff. All I do is put money in the account. And then woof, she does all the rest, you know. And I really like that relationship, that financial relationship that we have in that way. So if anything, I'd be the one asking, hey, babe, what's the login for this or login for that type thing? But you know, she's got a handle. So that's kind of the deal there. Let's see. I missed a lot. I did convert it to React for a minute. Oh, that's cool, Kevin. Congrats to me too. We're on top of that. You know, I've been doing the React thing for the last 2 weeks. Definitely an eye opener, a lot to learn, different philosophy from building Angular applications, almost an exact 180 or exact reverse from building Angular applications. Definitely been an eye opener. What would you suggest for me to start learning how to do remote testing? What do you mean by remote testing? Do you mean what I'm doing? Working remote and writing tests? Uh, or is remote testing some other thing? So educate me there, please. One remote, both PHP and Laravel heavy. Oh, that's what's up. I actually dig Laravel as a PHP framework. If there was any of them, you know, they got Zen, Symfony, Zen. There's a couple others that are big PHP frameworks, but Laravel came on the scene kind of most recently and kind of took the PHP framework world over by storm. So big fan of Laravel. Are you a member of Laracast, Kelvin? Laracast is kind of the place to go if you want Laravel training online, and it's cheap. So he says basically buy me a cup of coffee per month and I'll teach you Laravel. I think it's like $9 a month or something like that. So less than Netflix, and you get all the Laravel training you could ever want. Only for that Alexa 25 minutes. Yeah, yeah. I don't need that money. Benefits of being prepared. Yeah, it is. It's just it's a blessing because don't get me. I ain't no high in my, like I said, I done been broker than a joker. You know what I'm saying? And I done been to the point to where I'm so late that they start turning off stuff, and we done borrow money from friends or from wherever to pay these folks. I need to know when I can pay my friend that. So trust me, me and the old lady done been through it. So now these last four solid years or so have been nothing but you know, smooth sailing for us. We're over the financial woes for the last 4 years solid, and you know, I couldn't be happier that that is no longer a pain point in my life. You know, I have far from a perfect life, but I recognize and I'm thankful that I don't have money problems. I stay away from folks. So I ain't got people with hands out, you know what I'm saying? My family don't have hands out. I don't have friends that have hands out. So I don't have those kind of stresses or people that I take care of my family for now, and I'm building wealth so that I can take care of a whole bunch of people. You guys know that already. But I don't have people jumping in, disrupting that. And I would highly advise you, if you have people in your life that are disruptors in that way, when you're trying to build your deal, that you be very wary and careful of that, especially if you're a person who struggles with saying no. I'm one that's quick to cut a play off. Like, you have got to go. You are not in my plans. Nope, not wrong at all. They'll be well. They will try to meet that. Yeah, and they did. Do you get taxed more because it's contract work though, man? You are. I would stress my life right now. I can relate. Do I get taxed more because it's contract work? Um, that is a very interesting and good question there, Big Joe. Um, I don't get it. It depends. Well, what's the disclosures? I am not a legal or a tax professional. Please contact your own tax professional in your local market should you have any questions about taxes. Now, that being said, there's the tax world is kind of amazing because there's so many different things that you can do. And everybody's situation, I used to listen when people would give that disclaimer and they say everybody's situation is different. I'm like, most people just work and file their tax return. But everybody's situation really can be different. Like for me, I've got my company that I contract through, right? I've got my holding company that I've had for years, where any new venture, I usually start out under there. And then if it takes off, I'll roll out another LLC or business for that, right? So that's to my coding company, my holding company. I have my trucking company, different LLC. That's actually a partnership, a limited partnership with me and my business partner doing the oil field trucking. And I feel like I'm missing something, but I got those 3 different LLCs, right? So that's 3 different opportunities to 3 different companies that I can take expenses from. You know what I'm saying? So there's different things make sense for different companies, right? So if I'm purchasing a laptop, like I bought this laptop that I'm doing this live stream on, right? So if I'm purchasing a MacBook, then that can obviously go against the income for the programming company, right? If I'm purchasing stuff from the truck, like the whole cost of this truck that I bought, all that stuff goes against the trucking company. And so, and because I'm a basis in all of those companies, I can take any losses from those companies on the books and offset my personal income, if that makes sense. So when the money finally gets to me, I can take these businesses, which are 3 separate entities over here, and say, well, they lost money, and I am the same tax. Basically, I provide the money for these companies. So if they lost money, technically, I lost money, and they would deduct that from what I actually made, and I pay less taxes overall than if I'm W-2. W-2, I can't do that. You know, if all I had was my W-2, that's all you got. So I started doing my taxes online with, my timer's up. Alexa, stop. I started doing my taxes online with TaxSlayer, and they, just to get an idea of what I would like owe, because I haven't gotten a tax return in years since I can remember. I don't get tax returns. I have to pay taxes. But I tell you what, I'd rather have to pay taxes than get a tax return because that means I was making some money. But you got to be prepared for that. People complain about paying for taxes because they get all the money through the year and they don't save any of it for Uncle Sam. So when Uncle Sam come with their handout, they like, what am I going to do? Whereas when you're W-2 and you get a tax refund, that means that technically you were sending extra money to Uncle Sam all throughout the year, and they've been holding on to it for you like an interest-free savings account. And then you have to file and ask for that extra money back at the end of the year. And they say, oh, here you go. You know, you can have this money we've been holding on to for the whole year for you back. And it's like, because they ain't giving you money. They definitely ain't giving you money. They're giving you your own money back. So it's all in how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? I use, the kids and stuff for me are not extra money like it used to be. You used to add all the dependents on so you get a bigger refund back. Now I add those dependents on, so it lowers my actual tax obligation, and then write a check. So one of a different way of doing it is how my CPA had me do it 2 years ago. Is I sign myself on as an employee of my own company. So I would be an employee of my programming company. My programming company will get paid. I would run payroll for me as an individual, and then my taxes get paid off of W-2. And he had it calculated, man, he had it calculated down perfectly, because at the end of the year, all I needed to write was a $20 check. So we were only off by 20 bucks. He calculated, I think I was paying myself, my payroll was only paying me like $700. Was it a pay period or a month? I think $700 a month, maybe, between two checks, on a regular. And all that money was doing was paying all the FICA, all the Social Security, all that stuff was getting paid, so that at the end of the year, I wouldn't have to write no check for all of that stuff that was being owed. And then I would take an owner's draw from the remaining money. So if I got like $3,000, right, I would take 700. Actually, when payroll pulls it out, it's more, because they take more. So by the time it gets to me, it's 700, but they probably pull out 9, right? So they pull out 9, take all the taxes out, pay me 7, right, on W-2, and then I still got what, $2,100 left that I could take as an owner's draw if I wanted to. And the way that those taxes work out is all those taxes get paid from that extra $200 they pulled out from my W-2. And I don't want to get all crazy with it, because I'm not a tax expert, like I said, but he had it all worked out. Like, look, just cut yourself a check from your payroll company for this much, and then you can deduct the cost of the payroll company. And there's all these things that interconnect, and like, oh man, I can write off like everything. So that's the deal. And you write off stuff, but you still have good income. Some people write off everything and show zero income, and that can hurt you when it comes to, I need to get a car loan, I need to get a mortgage loan, or whatever it may be, and you can't show any income because you wrote everything off. So, but that's the whole thing there. I gotta hurry. Oh my God. I will get that Alexa joint, keep me on task. It will, remind my kid. I set a timer for my son's homework every day, and I keep that on track, so he knows the whole deal, and I use it myself just like I did here. How do they get clients? What's the best way to get clients? You know what, Big Joe? I haven't really asked them in depth what their client acquisition model is, but they do a very effective job at getting clients. I can tell you that much. My buddy stays busy in meetings all the time, just dealing with clients. And he constantly comes on like, hey, this new client came on, this new client came on. They secured Zappos as a client, which is one of the biggest employers here in town. But the Las Vegas programming community is small. So, and there's only a few major players in town when it comes to big dev shops in town, and Zappos is one of them. So my buddy, 2 of the 3 founders of the company worked for Zappos as developers, like way back in the day, years and years ago. So they have relationships. Vegas is really, it's almost like one of those down south good old boy. It's really who you know can get you far in Vegas if you know the right people. And of course, they know the right people, and they're very well respected in the Las Vegas development community. So, their name carries enough weight to where, these are good guys, and they know how to do good work. So I don't know the specifics on how they go about getting their clients, but I know they have very good names in the city, and they're good people as a whole. Sounds like you're in that, on that corp to corp side. Yeah, C2C. Facts. Work from home. Larrycast got me these jobs. Yeah, I'm on it like Netflix, like you said. Yeah, exactly. Larrycast is the truth. Jeffrey Way there, over there at Larrycast. In Envision, back end at all, but back end gets me paid. Back end will get you paid forever, ever. And it doesn't change as much as front end does. So front end and it seems like there's always some new technique, new framework coming out, new something. Back end kind of settles in, and they don't have that high technology turnover the way front end does. So you can get in a nice groove in the back end and get paid off of knowing the same thing for years. And that don't necessarily ring true for front end. Front end, you got more stuff going on. And you constantly have to stay on top of the new technology. So I'm all for that back end. If I want to work at home testing job, if I want to work at home testing jobs for React and JavaScript, what would be good tutorials to prepare for that? Well, there's not really anything that'll prepare you for work from home. I wish there was more remote work resources out there that could kind of prepare you for that. There is a good book called Remote, as the title, that you can look up on Amazon or Audible if you're an Audible or an audiobook listener, that talks all about remote work from both your aspect and the company's aspect. It's really a book to get a company to buy into remote workers, Remote, like I said, is hard to get when you're new because you need to learn from other people. You need other people to learn. As much as I don't kind of like that, in the very beginning, it's good for you to be around other people. It will accelerate your learning process. If you're learning all only by yourself, you will learn, but it will be a much slower process in the beginning parts because you don't have the foundation set first. Once you get a good foundation, then yeah, you can be off to the races learning on your own, but you really need to get a solid foundation in your technology stack. So a lot of people don't like to hire remote new people, junior devs, where your schedule allow you to do the React classes on Mondays or a different day. Yeah, I'll still be able to get on Mondays and kind of show what I've been learning with React. So we should still be good there. That's the part I need to learn. I need a CPA for it. Yeah, having a good CPA is well worth it. I mean, you pay here in Vegas at least. It costs on average about $500 to get your taxes done by a CPA for personal, and about $700 or $800 for business. So I'll pay whatever that is, $1,300. I just look at it as a cost of doing business. And then even the cost of the CPA is a tax deduction for the following year because if I'm paying for it in 2019, so he can do my 2018 taxes in 2020, I get to write off what I paid him this year in 2019 for doing the 2018 taxes. So it all count. You really have to be on top of your your receipts and reporting them. Okay. And so having good software like FreshBooks or QuickBooks Online or something like that you can scan the receipts in. I have a scanner sitting right here, a little small image scanner, document scanner, where I can scan in receipts or pages of stuff that I need to have scanned in. Once it's digital, then I shred the originals. So I have a shredder sitting over here that shreds all my stuff, anything with my name, address, any kind of stuff on there, because I've been had identity theft or been not hacked. I've had my identity stolen on at least 3 occasions. So I don't play around with that. So you're gonna have to work to get my info. 2 days ago, what's today? The 8th. Actually, yesterday, I have an identity protection plan set up, and they notified me that my email address has shown up on the dark net as having been compromised. So I immediately went into Gmail and changed my password, and I set up 2-factor authorization so that you need my phone as well as my password that has now been changed in order to get into my email account. So I take that stuff real serious. So I do PHP levels, just repetitive, and I like it. Like I said, yep, gets me paid. Yep, that's it. You learn it one time, man, and it'll keep you paid. I never thought about how much the back end stays the same. It does. once you look at it, Ramsey, it's kind of like that. You learn SQL, right? How to do queries, inner joins, left joins, whatever, right? Once you learn that, SQL's been SQL forever. So you learn it one time and you can use it forever. And there are millions upon millions upon millions of companies and websites that are built and they use some form of SQL on the back end, whether it's Postgres, whether it's MySQL, whether doesn't matter. It's all using SQL on the back end. So you learn that, how to do queries. You learn whatever backend language it is, whether it be Node or PHP using a framework like Laravel. If it's Node, it could be a language like Express or a framework like Express or like Happy.js, any of that, and you're kind of like set. The only thing that changes is the business domain. So now you're working for this business, and this is the stuff they want stored in the database, and you pull it out of the database and you do some kind of munging to it or mutating to it, and then you send it to the front end. And the front end sends you back a package, and you might have to do some changes to it or whatever, and then you store it in a database. And that's all you're doing on the back end. Pull from the database. You probably got to pull from a bunch of different tables. So I need all this information. They're stored in different tables. I'm going to write this query that sucks all this data in from these 6 tables, formats it in the format that the front end needs, this big JSON blob object. And I'm going to shoot that JSON to the front end, and some Angular app or React app or Ember app or Vue.js app will take that and use it and display it on the screen for the user. So that's the whole back and forth process between front end and back end and database. So you just insert yourself somewhere in that picture, front end, back end, and database, and you get paid. It's literally that simple. Well, not that simple, but that simple. It's good because once you get comfortable, you can expand from there and really become an expert. It's really nice, to be honest. That is true. And then Doc J says, thanks for the info. Okay. Oh, good. We have reached the end of the comments. I want to catch up with you guys, get you caught up with what's going on so you kind of see how my little career is panning out or whatever. So that's the deal. Wrote test all week for a React application using Jest and a different React specific utility library, but we can talk about that on Monday. Monday, 7 p.m. I missed this Monday. If you didn't notice, I have people asking, yo, what happened? I just missed it. So I am setting an alarm. Alexa, set an alarm for Monday at 6 p.m.
Alarm set for 6 p.m. on Monday.
Boom, now you heard that. So at 6 p.m. my time, Alexa will go off and remind me that at 7 o'clock. Alexa, stop. I don't know what she was talking about. She will remind me that I need to do that. Yeah, I need to do that too. Set a reminder in YouTube. Thank you for your time and attention. Of course, appreciate y'all for jumping on, man. It's been fun times. Good conversation in the chat. Y'all asked some very good questions. So appreciate you. Big Joe, Doc J, Ramsey, Kelvin, Kiana, thank you for popping in the room and listening as well. Until then, on Monday, peace.